The best time to start investing was 10 years ago. The next best time is now. Starting early in investing is ideal. However, not everyone starts investing until they hit 30s. In 30s, your priorities change and the feeling of a safe and secure future is comforting. With so many investment products to choose from and so many milestones to reach, how should you go about investing in your 30s? Join us on Instagram Live where we discuss more about this.
Mark Andreessen famously stated in 2011 that software is eating the world. And boy, was he right. His core thesis was based on the fundamental premise that the basic infrastructure required to distribute software globally was built, and this enabled software companies to expand their reach globally. The vision of a globally connected and digital economy was looking ever so possible. There was a technological shift happening in the early 2010s across every industry, whether it was BFSI, healthcare, media, and so on. The rise of cloud computing enabled the shift from legacy on-premise solutions to cloud-native software products. The shift from legacy on-premise solutions to cloud-native software products improved productivity, reduced complexity, increased accessibility, and also provided regular and automatic updates for customers. Coupled with lower costs, the shift towards cloud native products became a no-brainer for customers. Additionally, software was historically built for large-scale enterprises and not for the small and medium business. However, SaaS has led to the increased adoption of software by even the smallest of businesses. To give you a sense of how big this industry is, roughly $200 billion is estimated to be spent in 2024 on cloud-based software products. And to give you a sense of how the industry has grown, Salesforce's revenue in 2009 was roughly $1 billion, and they exited 2023 with a revenue base of over $35 billion with a medium-term target to hit over $50 billion. That is the staggering growth of the SaaS industry over the past 15 years. The last decade was especially a hard decade for the global economy. Countries struggled to bounce back post the global financial crisis, and industries struggled for growth. Amidst this cloudy environment, SaaS companies were the shining light for growth, and many of these companies were growing at over 25 to 30% compounded, and some of these companies are even growing at a 40 to 50% compounded growth rate. As the world was starved for growth but was flush with liquidity, there was a lot of money chasing these companies in the public markets, and there were hundreds of SaaS startups being funded in the private markets. Growth was the only factor on the minds of the executives of these companies, and it was the only factor that they focused on. This was because growth was the only factor that was being rewarded handsomely. As the world was starved for growth and was flush with liquidity, money was chasing these companies in the public markets, and there were hundreds of SaaS companies being funded in the private markets as well. Growth was the only factor that the executives of these companies cared about, as growth was the only factor that was being rewarded handsomely. Therefore, these companies had a philosophy of growing at any cost. This led to these companies throwing money at sales and marketing by expanding the sales and marketing team in a big manner and rewarding their employees handsomely. To give you an example, Salesforce spends over 35 to 40% of their revenues on sales and marketing when compared to just 10 to 15% of revenue spent by other big tech firms. Enterprise sales became the most coveted job that no one knew much about and no one spoke much about. However, over the past 18 to 24 months, as interest rates started increasing and as enterprises started reducing their tech budgets and started laying off people, the growth rates for these SaaS companies also began to decelerate. They were already priced to perfection and their valuations couldn't sustain due to the growth deceleration. This led to a massive correction in their stock prices. Will these companies be able to navigate the downturn and come out stronger on the other side? Will they be able to change their core and fundamental philosophy and focus on margins and not just on growth? We'll have to wait and see how it plays out. Thank you.